everybody, welcome back to another episode on 539. Today we are at the Circle Cemetery outside of Ashley, Indiana, and we're gonna go and check out some of the historic graves here. Most of the stuff that we're driving through right now is not historic, it's rather new. But on the other side, there seems to be a fairly large section that's probably from the mid to late 1800s. And so I thought it'd be really interesting to see. I saw a few Woodmen of the World markers sticking out as well. And so I thought we'd come here and check it out, see what all we can find. Yeah, I'm really not sure much about this place, but it looked really interesting. The layout is pretty incredible. It really is just a bunch of circles. So yeah, here we are. I'm parked right here under this massive tree. Luckily, it didn't have any storm damage. I don't know how bad it got up here. We're quite a bit north of where we were in the last few episodes, and it's kind of interesting to see that this little evergreen has sprouted right in a dead area of the trunk here, so pretty cool. A pretty interesting setting here. I'm seeing a lot of veterans' graves so far. So we might be finding a few Civil War veterans. Not exactly sure about the area. Just happened to spot this place. You can see here, Sock Rider, a very interesting name. Mahala Ann Davis, 1894, and Andrew Jackson, 1914. And then right over here is a family section of some sort. You can see now it's pretty empty. And there is a small, little tiny piece of something here. We'll see if I can get any names. You can see that the main stone here doesn't appear to have anything written, at least not on that side. We'll check the other side out. And I'm not seeing anything here either. Someone definitely has been out to place some flags. Okay, there is definitely writing on this side. So, John and Rachel Norman. Looks like John was born in 1834, passed in 1906, and Rachel 1837 to 1922. And so I would guess that he's probably a Civil War veteran. And sadly, nothing on this side of this stone, and can't really tell on the other one. So leaves it a bit of a mystery, but probably just the individual stones and maybe a marker there of a child, and who knows what was in the rest, if anything at all. And looks like we have quite a few sectioned off areas. Let's kind of hit those first here. Before we do that though, I did notice these two, I should say, little markers here that were never updated. You can say Bertie Shaftstall, 1868 to 1909. And then next to it, one that's falling apart, you can see another Shaftstall, 1871 to 1956. And unfortunately, these are just coming out. And it'd be nice if someone donated a permanent stone marker. It does look like there is a family stone here, so it's kind of interesting. Nothing on the back, so no inscription for those that seem to be buried next to it. Okay, let's go check out these few family sections over here. And, oh, I think I might have found another Civil War veteran right here. Let's see. It's the right shape. Looks like, see, he passed away. It looks like born 1820. And Elizabeth Alteron. Okay, so there's two people on here. I can't, it looks like Ira Alteron. And you can't see, it just says died. I don't even see that there's an actual inscription that was ever there. And then looks like born June 26th of 1826, and then died 1914, I would imagine. And wow, there is a ton of bugs down there. I don't know what they are. Interesting. And we have James Ling here. I just had another visitor pull in here. 18, it looks like James of 1834 to 1908, and Catherine Reamer, 1840 to 1906. Another veterans marker, so I guess to be a veteran of the Civil War. No specific conflict mentioned, so it is possible that it was another conflict, but I would say more than likely I can guess that it was a Civil War soldier. And here's a Libby marker here. Kind of difficult to read this, but there's George of 1838 to 1902, it appears. And then Atina, maybe? I can't read the name very well. I'm going to have to try that later. You can see the lichen growth has actually started to fill it in, and it's around the same color, so it actually makes everything blend in. But it does say 1842 to 1902 there. Alright, actually before we continue, there's a few interesting things here. And we can see a large gap here. And go ahead and take a look at this one here, and then maybe look around this large tree. And then looks like Sherman's 1881 1908. I can't tell if it's got, it does say son of, but I don't see any other. It might be that there were things here and they've been lost throughout the years, so I'm not really sure on that one. That's unfortunate if that is the case. We'll go and kind of take a look around as close to the edge of this tree as we can and get maybe an idea if that is what exactly happened. But you can see that it says son of A and S.J. Gaumond. So that would have been the last name. So very interesting. I don't know. But my guess would be is that the memorials used to be right in this area here, and they were covered up. You can see a lot of the brush has been pushed up against this massive tree here. I mean, just amazing how huge this thing is. Mary Seward there of 1827 to 1909. And then Amos Hissung, 1868 to 1930. And It looks like we do have at least one that's butted up against the tree, but not necessarily completely affected by it yet. It looks like there might be a little bit of movement on the left-hand side here. It is a slight grade, and see the grave of the Dellers, Zoe and Clive. Zoe of 1888 to 1968 and Clive of 1893, and then no date of passing ever inscribed. Kind of interesting again, but might have been a situation again. I think sometimes when you might not have any family left, and especially back then, I guess it wouldn't have been incredibly long ago in the 60s or 70s or whatever, but they may not have had anybody around to take care of that for them, and there might have not been a charity in place. You can see a red ring around the tree here. My guess would mean that they might be tearing this tree down permanently because it's becoming a nuisance, possibly. So let's check it let's check out a few of these other family section, and then we have to double back because there was one I wanted to see, another set in metal marker it looks like, and this is John Robbie, February 1899, and it does look like, okay, no, it says Frankfort, William County, Indiana, maybe. I'm not 100% on that. Alright, let's go and check out this small little family section over here. We'll go ahead and read some of these too. We have Frank Beerwagen, 1860 to 1916, and then Caroline D. Beerwagen, 1859 to 1926, and Edna M. Beerwagen, 1898 to 1919. Alright, let's head on around and check out this here. I do kind of wonder sometimes how much extra it costs just to have this little bit of cement put into place. Obviously, it'd be very difficult to kind of translate it in terms of modern cost. It probably was significantly lower back then, but we see Y-Song here, Harrison and Amy. Harrison of 1812 to 1909, and Amy 1911 to 1892, and also their children listed, Rachel and William. Rachel of 1842 to 1868, and William of 1840 to 1850. Gone but not forgotten. And so, although you can see that there's definitely a lot of room here, there's not everyone being marked, or potentially the stones have been buried over the years. Well, looks like our visitor has left. Stayed here shortly. Seemed somewhat confused about what I was doing. Whoa! Oh wow. It's a lot. It looks like, oh okay, not completely lost, but this is another family section. You can see right here where the wall or little, whatever you want to call it, decorative landscaping barrier, and a little bit clearer right in here. You can actually still see the stone. The only surviving memorial is right here. Really difficult. Let's see if we can get a name. I don't want to attempt to move it, obviously. It's kind of a little bit difficult. Thermine? I'll try and get a better reading when I get back, but it looks like it says maybe daughter of, but no dates available. So this once was a family section here, but it looks like probably everything is beneath the surface at the moment. It's incredibly sad. And I'm assuming this is probably how most of them looked originally, that they were raised, and then over the years with erosion and grass growth and all kinds of different factors, you know, it slowly just disappears. However, on this one, a lot of the markers still remain, if not all of them. So you can see 4 small individual markers, and then what is probably the family marker in the middle, although it may have some dates on it. Yeah, it looks like this is the Amstutz family section here. That big bird keeps flying over. That Ulrich Amstutz of 1822 to 1907, Susan 1815 to 1901, Ulrich Jr. 1846 to 1906, and Christian 1851 to 1911. So each and every one of them born before the Civil War, and would have been old enough to remember it, to have learned about it as it was happening, to have maybe read along with the news and the newspapers. So it would have been a big part of their life, the whole Lincoln presidency, and it's just an interesting thought, again, that something that's such a poignant part of our history books was just these people's everyday lives, what they woke up to in the news, just as we wake up to our own modern news today. Okay, we're gonna head up again and check out this one little stone that had some sort of inlaid metal marker, and then there's a few other family sections over here that I wanted to get a good look at as well. Wow, the ground is really uneven. It's kind of difficult to traverse and try to film at the same time. It does make me just wonder in this area, though, if there isn't anything in there right now, then if at the very least they found something when they dug it out. It's still a mystery to me where, other than obviously underground, any of these mystery or disappeared memorials have gone, you know. And here we are at, looks like we have a section marker here. It's like section R, maybe. And I do believe, I don't know if that's a small arrow pointing this way. There's definitely nothing that way. And then this kind of interesting piece here, you can see it looks almost like it had some sort of structure below that's been buried a little bit. And this is the memorial of Earl Mead, 1886 to 1939, and oddly, I don't know what has scraped this, but you can actually see the color of the original metal, and probably, I'm guessing, what it would have looked like when it was brand new. Although it just looks so amazing now with the color it is, that I would think that you could sell it brand new like that as well. So looks like we have the Gorels here. Lloyd, 1895. And Frederick, I can't tell if that is, oh no, W.M. Frederick. That is the last name, so this is not part of the same family. But 18, and it looks like 1880 something, but lichen growth is covering up the rest. And this one almost the same, although I think it says looks like 1829 to 1911 if I'm correct. I'll try and put it up on the screen if I'm not. We have Juan Colby, February 21st, 1855 to 1911. Ida Pyatt, April 19th, 1861 to... Oh, that's interesting that they flipped it. Okay, so 1937 of October, on October 9th. And they are also, at least Ida, I don't see any additional memorial for Juan, but you see that Ida here has their own medal memorial too, denoting their life and also beloved mother. And right next to it, a similar one, a Blossom St. Clair, 1898 to 1971. Very interesting. Looks like they cut out some decorative plants here that were starting to interfere. Wow. Get kind of a better perspective from here of this huge, huge tree. Okay, let's head to the, looks like front row here. See what we have here. It looks like there is some newer stuff towards the other side. But here at the very corner we have Stephen of 1824 to 1907, but this was apparently a Stephen Kimball. You can see that it was actually erected by Royal Bear. It doesn't say when the date was, but this apparently was not the original stone, and somebody actually did come out and donated this stone to their memory, which is pretty neat. That's awesome. And no idea what this is. I think it's just a stick in the ground. Yeah, just a stick in the ground. Interesting. I don't think that marks anything. And this looks like maybe a hand-pressed homemade stone here. See the grave of Mary Rowe, died 1911, and looks, my guess would be that it was a metal stamp. It might have been hand done into wet cement. So another very interesting one. And does have some amount of wear and tear. But what an amazing gesture still.